एक बार बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की। सत्यम वेलकम। एक बार बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। शुक्लांबरधरं देवं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो। एक बार बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। सज्जनों, हम लोग प्रार्थना की करेंगे। Let's all stand as we भगवान should be waving up the sacred light. सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 भागवतम। बोलो जय 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 भागवतम।
जय 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 भागवतम।
बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 भागवतम। बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से है तारती। बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान हरि ज्ञान वरदान जग की मंगल की आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती। बोल जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 भागवतम। बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रावों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्री राम यही घनश्याम प्रभु की महिमा पापियों को पाप से तार दे। जय भागवत भगवान की पापियों को पाप से तार दे। बोल जय 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 भागवतम। बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। बोलो ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल दे दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल दे दैया मोद ले लो। दैया मोद ले लो दैया मोद ले लो दैया मोद ले बोलो ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल दे दैया मोद ले लो। कोड़ी कोड़ी मत की मैं दैया जमाया। कोड़ी कोड़ी मत की मैं दैया जमाया। पानी ना डाला एक बूंद ने दैया मोद ले लो। पानी ना डाला एक बूंद ने दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल दे दैया मोद ले लो। कौन गाँव की तू है गुजरिया। कौन गाँव की तू है गुजरिया। क्या है तुम्हारा नाम है दैया मोद ले लो। क्या है तुम्हारा नाम है दैया मोद ले। अरे ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल हो दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल हो दैया। अरे ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल हो दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी बरसाने में हम पे गुजरिया। बरसाने में हम पे गुजरिया। अरे राधा मेरा नाम बोलो राधा मेरा नाम है दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल हो दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल है दैया मोद ले। दैया मोद ले लो दैया मोद ले दैया मोद ले लो। बोलो ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल हो दैया मोद ले लो। ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल हो दैया मोद। हरे रघुपति राघव राजा हो राम प्रभु सीताराम गोविंद माधव। रघुपति राघव हरे शिवरी की तैल सुदामा की तंदुर। शिवरी की तैल सुदामा। हरे रुचि रुचि भोग लगाए हो राम प्रभु सीताराम गोविंद माधव। रघुपति राघव राजा हो राम प्रभु सीताराम गोविंद माधव। रघुपति राघव राजा हो राम प्रभु सीताराम गोविंद माधव। दुर्योधन घर में वाचा बोल। सबको आसन पर बैठे में all take seats. ओम नमो भगवते एक बार बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. सबको sit around everyone. And a warm welcome to all of you this morning, of course, as we join. What session is this, Pandit? You lost count? 14th. This is the 14th session, of course, of, it feels like 20 here, but the 14th session, of course, of Bhagwat Katha this morning indeed. It's our pleasure on behalf of the hosting Yajman, Srimati Kamla Ramcharanji and her husband Mahadev, and the extended family, as they allow us the privilege, of course, of listening to a few verses of this Srimad Bhagwat Mahapurana. To all of you, I want to say a most cordial welcome this morning to my two young godsons, Pandit Satyam and Pandit Sarvesh, of course, and their parents, who are here members of group on stage. All of you, my dear friends, who have left your home and your families, those who join us on Radio Jagrati 102.7 FM as well, and who look at us on the live stream. To those families, we want to say a most cordial welcome. Before we get into Katha for a few moments, let's all sit upright as we clasp hands, close eyes, bow our heads, and we offer salutations onto the lotus-like feet of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. जिनकी अकांत को अलसी फूल को उपमाएं हो जाते हैं, the Lord who is compared in complexion to the अलसी flower, blue in color, जो यमुना कोल कदम को वृक्ष मूल भाग में विराजमान है, the Lord who stands under the shade of the kadam tree on the banks of the Yamuna, गोपांगनों साथ लीला की वास करते अत्यंत शोभमान रहे. He who is the love of the gopis and the gopis of Braj, वह बनमाली श्री कृष्ण मूल का विस्तार है. I bow to the feet of the divine Lord Sri Krishna, who is the giver of all auspiciousness. जिनको पीतांबर को वेद बांध रखे हैं, the yellow silken cloth around his waist enhances his beauty. और जिनके मस्तक पर मोर पंख का मुकुट सुशोभित है, and the stunning peacock feather located on his crown grants resplendence to the entire world. Un param patu nate shivhari, onto the feet of such a Lord who performs this sacred Ras Leela dance, I offer my humble salutations. Sri Ganeshaya Namah, Shri Saraswati Namah, Sri Guru Charana Kamale अटसे कुसुम पेय कांतरा, यमुना को कदम मध्यवर्ती, नवगोप बधो विलास बनमाली बितनुतु मंगलानि, वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं, देवकी परमानन्दं, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. कर्पूरगारं करुणावतारं, संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं, सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवम् सहितं श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार बदनो रघुबर विमल यश जो दायक पल बोधहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देवमयि हरहु कलेश विकार सियापति रामचंद्र पद जय शरणं शंकर हरि जय जय सिया राम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। रिद्धि सिद्धि दाता सिद्धि सदन वारन वदना सुमिरो बारंबार मदन कदन के लाल को गणपति कृपा निधान ज्ञान कानि आनंद भवन देवो मोहि वरनादिका भागवत जय शिव आनंद भूतनाथ भव भय भक्ति विषय निर्द्वंद गौरवर्ण मंगल हे ब्रज चंद्र मुको भज भूषण दूषण कातहु भव भय शरण शरण लिया जय 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 जगदीश सेवत शेष महेश महिमामित अभेद वेद वेद जानत देव मोहि वरदान प्रेम बड़ी मुस्कान निज चित में खत खत रहे मोहि चाहिए कछुना और वस्तु प्रभु जत की बसई रहे मन माई या बाकी जाकी सदा। बाल बाल लिए सा मोर मुकुट शिर पर धरे कर मुरली उरमा शीश मुकुट कतमीत पता या चविसो नंदला बस हृदय गुरुपद रज दर्शी कहूँ भागवत की कथा जो शुकदेव मुनि कहीं परीक्षित पति सो उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय शरणम एक बार बोलो वृंदावन में हरे लाल की जय. My dear friends, the glories and the greatness of Sri Krishna is diverse. Bhagwan takes on different roles and adopts different modes in order to carry out the purpose that he is here for. So for example, in the Gita, you would not see any of this that I am speaking of. When you read the Gita from cover to cover, it is purely based, although it mentions bhakti, it is not to the, at this aspect. This aspect is called Leela. So what is called Bal Leela or Krishna Leela. But this is not, of course, at the level of what the Gita mentions. The Gita speaks of bhakti. Bhakti is at a different level. So Bhagwan mentions, of course, that the Lord takes on different roles and adopts different modes. These modes are called kalas, K-A-L-A. So according to the characteristic that has to be exhibited at the time, the Lord takes on that predominant mode and does such. So for in the Gita, he was strictly, of course, one who was there to give guidance, to expound the knowledge of the soul and its relation, our relationship with this world and the soul and how we navigate, and to explain the gunas. Different yogas are mentioned in the scriptures. In the Bhagwat, of course, the events that unfolded here was before the Gita. So these were events that unfolded from the time that he was born up until when he left, and prior to the war. And then, of course, a little bit of the war is mentioned here as well, what took place with him between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and that great war and the events surrounding it. And then, of course, once that was concluded, he went off to Dwarika. So there are different localities, different locations. Mathura is where he was born, but they are not very far away. They are very close. So if you have visited Mathura, Govardhan is not far from what we read last night. That's not far from Mathura as well. And not too far away, you're going to find Barsana. Barsana is the birthplace of Radharani. Her father was a great king by the name of Vrishabhabhanu. In fact, her home is now a temple. They converted the home into a temple where she used to live. And when you go, there is a tree that is not too far. Well, I think they still preserve the tree. The last time I was there, probably about 8 years ago, the tree was there, and the guide was sharing with me that when he wanted to go see Radha, he couldn't go through the front door. So he used to climb on the tree and pelt on the window, and she would open the window to see him. This is how this is pastimes of his. And when she went to sell, she used to sell milk, dahi. So when she walked in on the road, on the pathway that leads to Vrindavan, he used to stop and heckle she. But this is all, of course, pastimes of the Lord. The Kadam tree, every night you would hear me stating that the Lord who sits in the shade of the Kadam tree. The Kadam tree is the tree that is located on the bank of the Yamuna. It's very modern now, it's populated. What they did is homes have built up. And when those whole homes built up, they they kept the area of the tree, like a peepal tree. They kept that area of the tree. And what they did, of course, was they preserved it for visitors. So on the banks of the Yamuna, you will notice that they all come. And that tree is over 5,000 years old. It's still existing up until today. It is under that tree he used to sit, of course, and he will play the flute. That place around where the Kadam trees is called Vrindavan. The Madhuban forest was also located in that spot. So these three are known as the Golden Triangle. When you go to Madhuban, you go to Barsana, and you go to Vrindavan, Mathura, rather. Mathura, Vrindavan and Barsana, they are called the Golden Triangle. When you visit, you try to visit all three of these, and of course, you get, that's the pilgrimage, that's how the pilgrimage is done. So all of these are beautiful places dedicated to Sri Krishna. And what we read here, all of those things, places still exist up until today. Those places are existing and they are still just as is. So Bhagwan describes, of course, this is what he mentions, that he takes on different roles and adopts, just much like us. Much like us. In our roles, sometimes we have to be in our jobs, we are one person. When you're at home, you're a mother, you're a daughter, a sister, and so you adapt to suit the role that you are called to play. And it's the same with Sri Krishna. It is very much the same with Sri Krishna. So as we begin this morning, of course, beautifully, a little bit of the Leela, and more so. Most of us are accustomed hearing about the Ras Leela. It is a great dance that was done, a devotional dance that was done, of course, by Sri Krishna with the gopis and the gops. So these gopis were 16,000 in number, and there are a number of reasons that give or account for them being that number. One tells you, one shares with you that the Vedas, when they were created, their personalities, and they wanted to experience the joys. The Vedas don't have much pastime. So the Vedas wanted to enjoy that. So what they did, they asked the Lord, and he told them, he said, when I come as Sri Krishna, you all will incarnate as the gopis, and I will dance with you. Yet another source tells us that when Sri Ram came upon the earth, and he went to see Sita in Mithila, and everybody saw him. When the ladies saw him, they were enamored, the devotees, and they wanted him to get married. And he told them, Ek Nari, Ek Purush. As this avatar, one man, one wife. So because of such, they did not do such. And he told them, when I come as Sri Krishna, then all of you will come as devotees. And yet another tells you that in the Dandakban, in the forests of where Bhagwan visited, there were 16,000 sages, and each one wanted an audience with him. They wanted to be they wanted personal attention. You know what is personal attention? You know, when you come by or when you go to see someone, you want to talk to them alone. You don't want to talk to them as a group, or you don't want them to talk to you as a group. You want individual attention. So they wanted that. And Bhagwan said, of course, that when I come as Sri Krishna, I will give that to you. So this is how you get the Leela of what is called the Ras Leela that is there. So we begin this morning. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhaiya pi gaye sara ra 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 ra. Raat sham sapne mein aaye. Raat sham sapne mein aaye. Dhaiya pi gaye o. Dhaiya pi gaye sara ra 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 ra. Raat sham sapne mein aaye. Raat sham sapne mein aaye. Jab sham mere kirki khole, kirki khole, kirki khole. Jab sham mere kirki khole, kirki khole, kirki khole. Kirti tar gaye, oh 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 oh. Kirti tar gaye, ra 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 ra. Raat sham sapne mein aaye. Raat sham sapne mein aaye. Dhaiya pi gaye, oh श्याम सपने में आए, रात श्याम सपने में आए। जब श्याम मेरे माखन खायो, माखन खायो, माखन खायो। जब श्याम मेरे माखन खायो, माखन खायो, माखन खायो। मत की पूरी नी ओ ओ ओ ओ, मत की पूरी नी तारा रा 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 रा। रात शाम सपने में आए, रात शाम सपने में आए। दैया पी गए ओ दैया पी गए तारा रा 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 रा। रात शाम सपने में आए, रात शाम सपने में आए। जब शाम मेरी मैया पकड़ी, मैया पकड़ी, मैया पकड़ी। जब शाम मेरे मैया पकड़ी, मैया पकड़ी, मैया पकड़ी। ओ भैया तर गई ओ भैया तर गई तारा रा 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 रा। रात शाम सपने में आए, रात शाम सपने में। चंद्र सखी भजो बाल कृष्ण जबे बाल कृष्ण जबे बाल कृष्ण जबे। चंद्र सखी भजो बाल कृष्ण जबे बाल कृष्ण जबे बाल कृष्ण जबे। भव से तर गए ओ ओ ओ ओ, भव से तर गए तारा रा 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 रा। रात शाम सपने में आए, रात शाम सपने में आए। दैया पी गए ओ दैया पी गए तारा रा 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 रा। रात शाम सपने में आए, रात शाम सपने में आए, रात शाम सपने में आए। एक बात बोलो से वृंदावन में हरे लाल की जय। मीठे रस से बरौनी राधा रानी आए, राधा रानी आए। मनो तारो तारो यमुना जी के पानी आए। मीठे रस से बरौनी राधा रानी आए, राधा रानी आए। भगवान शुकदेव अनहर्ति भगवती सहैव वज्रंगा अपस्य चक्षना करण्य इव यथा पापम. That the Lord of course would go into the Madhuban forest and in the company of Sri Radha and the gopis, all of them, they will begin the Rastans. If you know the Rastans, it's a dance where you lock around the neck of each other and you spin. So this is what he would enact with all of them, and such was his glory that he multiplied himself. So for the 16,000 that was there, each one had their own Krishna. This is how Bhagwan expands himself. Each one had their own Krishna. And like this, of course, they will spend moments upon moments. When that time came on the full moon night, they will come in Vrindavan. Actually, all that is remain is the Mandir. Vrindavan was a locality, it was a district, like a village. But all that is remaining now of that district is the Mandir. And that Mandir on the full moon, they don't open it at all in the night. The guide was telling me that in the night of the full moon, they close the doors of the Mandir, and if you go close to midnight, you still hear the anklets dangling. They say that he comes with Radha especially in the Mandir, in the grounds of the Mandir. The Mandir is very beautiful. It's the first time that I saw tulsi trees that were tall. The branches, the trunk of the tulsi trees, thick. It grows into like rope and has a beautiful, beautiful scent when you walk through the garden. So they closed the Mandir. I remembered it because when you go there, my uncle told me, he said, walk with a bag of coin. That's why I walk with a bag of coin. He said, when you go see. So when we went, as you get into Vrindavan in the Mandir, you have a group of sadhus sit down from a side like in a line. And all of them waiting for the coin. So you have to pass to the back and drop. And where you stop if you have a few of them, so you have to up, change, break. So you have to. That's right. He said, "Why? I tell you what with the bag of coin." He took me to Yamuna because he wanted me to see the Yamuna River. It was very high at that time because the monsoon rains are terrible in July, August in India. And when we went up, of course, the guy who took the boat, set up boat Mandir. They all want to carry you for a ride. So young fella, real smart fella. And we were going out, so we were talking to him. So he said, "Where are you?" So we tell him, "Well, we're from Bihar. Bihar के लोग सब आए हैं यमुना के दर्शन देखा वृंदावन के दर्शन करते हैं." So he said, "Such a?" So my uncle is telling me, "Yes." So when he figured out eventually that we are not Indians. We are, we just look like them, but we are not that. So he said, "वहाँ लोग पे आए हैं?" So we told him, Trinidad. So he said, "Trinidad guy?" Yep. They don't know Trinidad, some of them. But if you say Brian Lara, they know. So when I told him Brian Lara, he said, "Oh," he said, "Passport ko dekhunga?" He said, "Well, मैं नहीं passport को देखूंगा नहीं है." He said, "I never see a passport in my life before. I could see only one." You're trying to help out our brother. So we take out the passport and we show him. When we take out the passport and we show him, now I realize why he wanted to see the passport. Because when we asked him, "How much for the boat?" He said 500 to go and come back. But when he see the passport, and he took us to the middle of the Yamuna, and he has a stick that he uses to row the boat. He sent it down. So my uncle asking him how deep it is. He said about 50 feet. He said about 50 feet. And then he stopped and he said, "Well, all of you are saying," he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it's $1,500 a piece, Me can't swim in 50 feet of water. And if I die in the Yamuna, well, I ain't coming back, but still. At least let Krishna give me a little time to do what I had to do and then go. So that's why he wanted to see the passport. Hare Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Bolo Radhe, Hare Jai Shri Radhe. So when you're visiting, make sure you negotiate the price good first. Because when you get to the middle of the river, the prices change. But he was a good guide. He showed us where Vasudev came and crossed the Yamuna and all of these things. So you didn't mind paying him the money. So this is Krishna, Vrindavan. So they will all come and the Ras Leela, that Ras dance is still done by Sri Krishna in that place. And the gopis, of course, each of them, they would become lost. This is, some people read this and they ascribe different meaning to it. No, it is only bhakti. It is nothing else but bhakti. Bolo Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, O Bolo Radhe Radhe, O Bolo Jai Shri Radhe. Iti Bhangitam Tasam Shruta Yogeshwara Prahasasadam Goparat Ardamo Padase. Their souls, Atma Ramano, their souls will take delight in sporting with the Lord. Gatya Anura Gatasta Pramokshana Nirmalapaha Vabare Akshatishchata Pramada Ramapi Tatsta Vichesha Jagudhut Atmika. And with their minds captivated and looking at the enchanting form of Sri Krishna, at times, of course, Gayanti Uchaidamiva, they will sing Sahatam Vichitarudram Mundaka, and they would remember, of course, and although they are in the presence of the Lord, it's like the soul being in the presence of God. When you experience heightened levels of bhakti and your souls are not able to comprehend, this is what they, Purusham Vanaspati, they could not, overcome the joy that was there. Bolo Radhe Radhe, Bolo Jai Shri Radhe, Bolo Radhe Radhe. Ahuta Durayat Krishna Star Purvadim, Venum Kvante Kriyantamaya Shamanti Sadhave. And at times they will enact, they will, replay the many glories that he had on how he was the gopi that took care of Putana on how he was the gopi that destroyed Trinavrat, or he was the Sri Krishna. Some gopis will reenact how he destroyed, of course, Batasura and Bakasura, all of these. And they would reenact such Nalakshan Deparadasya Nunam Sankara. And then for one moment, the Lord pulled away from them. He pulled away and he went away. When this happened, of course, Jayatite Adhikam Janmana Brajasraya Indira Shashdatrahi Dayita Drishyatam Dikshu Tavastvai Dhritastastam Vichantave. This is a beautiful prayer that is called Gopi Geet. That when he pulled away from them, they started to miss him. They could not do without him. You know, like fish that is taken out of water. And they sung this beautiful prayer that is called Gopi Geet. It's actually verses on the Bhagwat, but it is sung as a geet, as a song to highlight their pain that comes away. It is equated to a human being who pulls himself away from God. Although we are human and the soul is inside of us, but the person who does not know God and pulls themselves away from God, they are equated to the gopi that has been separated from Sri Krishna. That's why God is so important in our lives. The moment God is not with you, God doesn't become the central point of your life. God, that is what keeps you grounded. If life is very tumultuous, there are things that happen that you don't ever think will ever happen to you. You know, the old people used to say, what I meet you, pass you, correct. What I meet you, pass you. Never stand up and say, see, that can happen to me, you know. Take it from a man who knows. Don't ever say, look at somebody else's pain, somebody else's trouble, and say, that could never happen to me. I will never let that happen to me. Karma is a funny thing. Life is a strange thing. And you see, when those moments come, then you depend on inner strength. It's your inner strength that is going to get you over the hurdles of those moments. Those moments when they come, the inner strength that you have, that is what is going to help you. And you know where that inner strength comes from? Your love, your connection with God. And that connection with God comes what you do every day of your life. That's why we keep sharing with you. Pray every day. It doesn't matter how little you do. Pray. Don't ever leave your house without praying. If you leave your house without praying, some point in the time, in the day, pray. Doesn't matter how you say the prayer. Doesn't matter what you do. Light a diya, put a flowers, whatever it is, it does not matter. Whatever little is, a little goes a long way when it comes to worshiping the Lord. Draupadi give a little piece of cloth and she get bolts of cloth. Just a little bit. Those are lessons for us. A little bit to God goes a long way. And this is what the gopis are. The gopis show us that when they got pulled away from Sri Krishna, they couldn't survive. That's how we are. Although we don't pray and we don't go, we may not go to the Mandir, we may not pray at home, but our lives become a little bit miserable. Without God in your life, you can have everything, but your life will still have, you will still have a void, an emptiness inside of you that cannot be filled by anything except God. That's why when you go to satsang, you see, when you come to temple, you go to Mandir and you listen to bhajans, it creates a different feeling. It creates a different feeling. And that is because that void, that empty space that is there inside, it cannot be filled by any material want. How much you go buy? How much you go spend? If God give $1 million, some of we go spend it out in one day. Some of we so wanted to run out, go put it in the bank and forget we have it. And some of we go spend chirrup like drop in water. And sit down and watch it every day. I spend 200 and look where we reach. How much of that you go do? You're going to get to a point in your life that wouldn't be important to you. Because when you lie on that bed and you have to go back to your Mika, it doesn't matter, you know. All that is going to matter then is what you and God have. Bolo Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, oh Bolo Radhe Radhe, oh Bolo Jai Shri Radhe. Oh Jayatite Radhikam, that blood shines because of your descent, O Lord of Lakshmi. Sayate Indira Shadashatrahi. Without you, O Lord, we have nothing. You constantly dwell. And it is our love for you that we always want to go to see you. And like this, of course, when there was Pranatakamadam Pancharchitam Dharani Mandanam Deyadapadi Charan Pankajam Shantama Cheramanana Stannairavayadhya. Like this, of course, in the middle of the ras, he pulled himself away. Same Madhuban chorus that you go, that we sing Madhubana Me Radhika. Him and Radha is to have really wonderful moments, but Udaliya baje re Madhubana me Radhika naache re Girivar ki mudaliya baje re O Madhubana me Radhika naache re. This same Radhika. Even Radha used to get a little bit envious. You know, devotees just get envious. I don't think because it's devotee and they're praying, they don't get a little jealous and they go on there. She couldn't understand. Rukmini could not understand. Although Radha was his love. Rukmini, who was his Dulahin, couldn't understand the relationship that he and Radha shared. And many a times, sometimes karma is a funny thing. It gives you, relations. So he had a habit every night that he go to sleep. She used to carry a glass of milk for him to drink. Sir Krishna. But although in the evening when he going to sleep in Dwarka, his mind is to be far. Mind is to be very, very far. You know, like when somebody's sitting and they with you, but their mind traveling, they daydreaming, they're going all over the place thinking. So Rukmini asked him one day, she built up the courage and she asked him, she said, tell me something. What kind of relationship you and Radha have? So he didn't answer her, he just stayed quiet. He just says, she's childhood friend. Rukmini said, okay. But he says, oh Rukmini, she's inside here. She's inside here. So she used to do it every day. One day she gave him milk. And the milk was hot, a little hotter than usual. And when you drink the milk, blisters come out. Blisters come out on his feet. And when she see it, she asked him, she said, what happened? He said the milk was too hot. She said, but how it come out on your foot? He said, you asked me where Radha is? Radha is inside here. And the milk, when it comes, it scorched her feet. And that is why my feet is blistered. This is love for God. That's the relationship that they had. And Rukmini then understood how he is connected to Radhika. Madhubana me Radhika naache re Girivar ki mudaliya baje re Madhubana me Radhika naache re Bolo Radhe Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Bolo Radhe Radhe Bolo Jai Shri Radhe Bolo Radhe Radhe Bolo Jai Shri Radhe Bolo Radhe Radhe Bolo Jai Shri Radhe Oh Yamuna Trividda Rudda Swaram Rajam Krishna Darsham Lalasa Tasam Ibubuchay Dasyam Mukam Buja Pitambhara Snagni Sakshana Manmatha. And just a little bit of, he wanted to see what it's like, and this is why I shared with you. When God is pulled away from us, although we see here that the gopis are pining for him because of separation, it was not the love that we know, that physical love. Love is classified into different categories. The same love that you have for someone is the same love that is, it's a broad category of love that is directed towards God. But when it's towards God, it becomes bhakti. It's a different kind of love, like Meera. Meera was, very, very, very in love with him. Almost, this is different type of love. It's not like a physical love. Physical, what we call physical love, that's different. That's totally different. That's based on this. But what gopis experience is divine. It's a divine rapture, like in oneness. But same thing that Sebari experienced, and all of the great devotees. So when he came back, of course, Tasmat Bichude, then they began once again. They started to smile. Krishna Darshalalasaha. They began to smile, and of course, why? Because they know what it is. The different Pachitta Alanga Kratantamula Chitam Ekatarangram Saptaha Stanuruyatayat. They held on to him and they put him in their, in their heart so that he would never, of course, come out. Kans and Sankachud was also fortunate to listen and to witness this. Kans, as he was a tyrant, he was, but he was fortunate to also listen to him. एक तरश दीवानी एक प्रेम दीवानी एक तरश दीवानी एक राधा एक मीरा दोनों से. This is both, yes, Radha and Meera, they had the same type of love for him. So like this, they began and they would put their arms around him. Tato Drishtamani Pada Pushtavishta Jagat Bandhavata Sri Kastya Yatyo Malam. And to the sound of, just as we do here, Bolo Radhe Radhe, Bolo Radhe Radhe, Bolo Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Gurudya Ramakanto. When the music started to play and it filled the air, of course, Unnitya Pujita Pritya, although they were in such a glorious mood, it was like doing puja to him. Gayatya Satam, they got lost in his presence and singing his glories. O Bolo Radhe Radhe, O Bolo Jai Shri Radhe, O Bolo Radhe Radhe, O Bolo Jai Shri Radhe, O Bolo Radhe Radhe, O Bolo Jai Shri Radhe, O Bolo Radhe Radhe, O Bolo Jai Shri Radhe. O meete ras se baro de Radha Rani aaye, Radha Rani aaye, man karo karo Yamuna ji ne pani aaye. O meete ras se baro de Radha Rani aaye, Radha Rani aaye, man karo karo Yamuna ji ne pani aaye. O Bolo Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Bolo Radhe Radhe, Bolo Jai Shri Radhe. Parikshit थोड़े दूर पर जाकर भगवान श्री कृष्ण दुष्टमान वाले शंकाचूर मुष्टिका पर शिखर सहित असके मातु को मणि ले लो. There was, as I mentioned to you, Kans was even fortunate to see this Ras Leela, this beautiful Ras Leela, and included with him one of his associates, a great demon by the name of Shankachur. Sometimes when someone comes to us, or sometimes you see someone going on a path, our job is to try and help them to improve their lives. Bhagwan Sri Krishna Chandra is Prakash Shankachur Daita Kumar Prakashman Lekar Sampurna Sriyo Dekade Prasanna. Shankachur wanted to get the better of Sri Krishna, so when the Ras Leela was going on, he entered into the bun. He entered into the forest and he tried to capture Bhagwan Sri Krishna there. Sometime in our moments of weakness, that's why in life we always have to be vigilant. Doesn't matter how relaxed you get, you must always be cautious. Never ever think it's in a moment of, sometimes when you lapse that something happens. And then you look back and you say, I should have done it. I should have been more careful. Maybe if I was more careful, this would not have happened. But in hindsight, that becomes difficult to correct. So Bhagwan says, of course, like this, always away, being away. Bhagwan is the Krishna Dushtatma. That what happened to him? Mani ki Sri ko prasante purvak bhai, Baladev ji ki. And when Sankarchud came there, he tried to take away the gopis. He tried to move them. रात्रि की ब्रजवासी मंदिर विहार करने लगे. भगवान श्री कृष्ण चरित्र को दोनों भाई सुंदर भूषण की बनमाला के निर्मल वस्त्र, both brothers of course with the beautiful flower, the बनमाला flower. रात्रि प्रारंभ होने थे तारगण. He came in night. और चंद्रमा उदय हैं. The moon was at its fullest. फूलों को मुद हुए हैं. And they of course. गोपी की समझ कर स्वामी कृष्ण बलदेव उत्तर को चला समय गोप पुकारने लगे. They started to warn भगवान that listen, मत डरो ऐसे के भयंकर करने वाले वचन को. वृक्ष है. There is demon by the Shankarchud की पीठ, and he is here to cause about your destruction. Constride in a number of ways to destroy him. There was the amount of ways that constride to destroy him is innumerable, and it all reminds us that in this world we are not always surrounded by people who love us. You may be very well surrounded by people sometimes that you think have your best interests at heart, and they don't. And that's why you have to be smart. You have to know. That's why I keep sharing with you the power of prayer. Because you see, when you're praying, it's almost as it gives you a drishti. It gives you a unique ability to pick up these things and to know that if someone is around you and they're inimical to you, or they don't have your best interests at heart, you almost, an awareness grows inside of you that I can't explain. That intuitiveness comes that, listen, maybe I should be, instead of somebody telling you that you have to be wary and cautious, an intuitiveness comes that, listen, I need to be wary of such. And that comes because of devotion. That's why that is like a gem. Devotion is like a gem. It helps you in every single aspect of your life. So when Shankarchud came and mat karo aise, the gopis, they scattered themselves. Kala mrityu saman piche ke daud, but Bhagwan is a protector of his devotee. And doesn't matter what trouble the devotee goes through, the Lord is only going to be there. He tells them, mat daro ke aise bhay door karne wale hain. That never be fearful as long as God is with you. Kabir Das uses a beautiful saying, taake mere saiya maar sake na koi. In Hindi he uses part of a doha. He says, taake mere saiya maar sake na koi. Saiya is God. The person who is blessed by God, sometimes there's a biblical saying, I think, that says the same thing. Who God bless, no man? No man what? Yes. Same is uttered by Kabir Das. Taake mere saiya maar sake na koi. As long as I am walking with God, I have no fear. There are lots of, all religions tell you the same thing. Right? Do I walk through the valleys of the shadows of death? Same is meant by it. As long as God is with you, you do not have to. The problem is, how do we know if God is with us? That's the problem, because the doubt grows in our heart whether God is with us. But as long as you are devoted to Him, you just have to have faith. That's where your faith comes in. If you want to know if God is with you, you have to have faith. If you don't have faith, you will never know it. And you must have faith that if God is with me, then yes, I will stand strong. And this is, he told them, he says, don't worry. बचन को पीछे दौड़ के आते श्री कृष्ण बलदेव की देख श्री छोड़कर शंकाचूड़ अपने के प्राण बचन के लिए. And when Shankarchud grabbed them and he started to take them away, Bhagwan did not hesitate. In an instant, of course, Sri को रक्षा के लिए बदल to rescue the gopis who were near them. हे राजा परीक्षित, तोड़े जाकर भगवान श्री कृष्ण दुष्ट आत्मा शंखचूड़ मस्तक बार सिंह सहित ओम प्रसन्नता को फूट पकड़. And without thinking, of course, Bhagwan goes. Baldev ji, दोनों के, the both of them, they destroyed the great Shankarchud. Of course, Shankarchud wanted this. He wanted Sri Krishna to be the cause of his death. Vama bahu pratama ko bolo balago dharna pamakam komalangulam rishamarkam gopeshyati mukundaha. The gopis, of course, when they realized the greatness and their Lord was there to protect them, once again they started to sing. O bolo Radhe Radhe, O bolo Radhe Radhe, बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
ओ बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
ओ बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
जय श्री राधे।
जय श्री
इति श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण दशक पूर्वोदया शंकराचार्य नाम जतो विशदे। एक बात बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की। उम्मीदे रस से भरो दे राधा रानी आए, राधा रानी आए, मानो तारो तारो यमुना जी के पानी आगे। ओ उम्मीदे रस से भरो दे राधा रानी आए, राधा रानी आए, मानो तारो तारो यमुना जी को पानी आए।
कान्हा निज मुरली में तेरी सुमरे बारंबार, कान्हा निज मुरली में तेरी सुमरे बारंबार। कोटिन रूप धरे मनमोहन कहो न भावे बार, कोटिन रूप धरे मनमोहन कहो न भावे बार। ओ रूप रंग की छवि पत्तरानी लागे, ओ पत्तरानी
लागे, मन कारो कारो यमुना जी में पान। सबको बोलो ऑल ऑफ अस। नीचे रस से भरो रे राधा रानी आए, राधा रानी आए, मन कारो कारो यमुना जी को पानी आए। एवरीवन वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे। सबको बोलो एवरीवन बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे, वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे, बोलो वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
वो बोलो जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
राधे राधे, राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
बोलो राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
जय श्री राधे,
राधे राधे,
राधे राधे,
जय श्री राधे। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। एक बात बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। My dear friends, this of course brings us to the end of our morning session. I want to invite you to the opportunity rather to invite you to be with us for the evening. This evening from 7 to 9 and then through the course of the evening and finishing on Sunday morning. God's blessings to you. But if you that's all time for the Hari Om. Yani kani shabapani janmantar katani cha tani tani vinashante pradakshina prade prade. Jai 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 Bhagwatam. Jai 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 Bhagwatam. Bolo. Jai 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 Bhagwatam.
जय 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 भागवत,
बोलो जय 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 भागवतम।
जय 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 भागवत,
जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। हरि गान यही वरदान यही हरि गान यही वरदान यही जग की मंगल की आरती। पापियों को पाप से तार दे जय भागवत भगवान की आरती। पापियों को पाप से तार दे बोलो जय 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 भागवतम जय 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 भागवतम जय 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 भागवतम। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है ये मधुसूदन की आरती। पापियों को पाप से आरती जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से आरती बोलो जय 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 भागवतम बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। ये मन बोल जग बंद बोल सन मांग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला। ये मधुर बोल जग बंद बोल सन मांग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला। श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही प्रभु की महिमा की आरती। पापियों को पाप से तार दे जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से तार दे बोलो जय 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 भागवतम बोलो जय 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 भागवतम। बोलो ले लो बिहारी नंदलाल हो दैया मोद ले लो। बोलो ले लो बिहारी नंदलाल हो दैया मोद ले लो। कोरी कोरी मत की मैं दैया जमाया पानी न डाला एक बूंद दे दैया मोद ले लो। पानी न डाला एक बूंद दे दैया मोद ले। अरे ले लो बिहारी नंदलाल रे दैया मोद ले लो। मोहन गाँव की नाचो गोपाला
गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला
गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला
नाचो नाचो
जय नंदलाला
नाचो नाचो
जय नंदलाला गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला गोपाल गोपाल
नाचो गोपाला नाचो नाचो
जय नंदलाला
नाचो नाचो जय नंदलाला
बोलो रुम झुम नाचो गोपाला
झुम 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 नाचो गोपाला
रुम झुम नाचो गोपाला
झुम 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 नाचो
सब बोलो नाचो
नाचो
जय नंदलाला
नाचो नाचो
जय नंदलाला गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला
गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला
गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला
गोपाल गोपाल नाचो गोपाला
बोलो नाचो नाचो जय नंदलाला
नाचो नाचो जय नंदलाला
बोलो नाचो नाचो जय नंदलाला
नाचो नाचो जय नंदलाला
चित जोड़ा यशोदा के बाद नवनीत छोड़ गोपाल चित जोड़ा
यशोदा के बाद नवनीत छोड़ गोपाल
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला उचित छोड़ा यशोदा के बाद नवनीत छोड़ गोपाल चित छोड़ा यशोदा के बाद नवनीत छोड़ गोपाल चित छोड़ा
यशोदा के बाद नवनीत छोड़ गोपाल
कर ले लो बिहारी नंद लाल दे लैया मोद ले लो
लीलो बिहारी नंदलाल दैया मोरे
करे बरसाने में हमें गुजरिया बरसाने में हमें गुजरिया अरे राधा है मेरा नाम अरे राधा है मेरा नाम ले दैया मोद ले लो बिहारी नंदन लालो दैया मोद ले लो बिहारी नंदन लालो दैया मोद दैया मोद ले लो दैया मोद ले लो दैया मोद ले दैया मोद ले लो बिहारी नंदन लालो दैया मोद ले लो बिहारी नंदन लालो दैया मोद ले लो बिहारी नंदन लालो दैया मोद ले लो. Back to Vishnu, my friends, we clasp hands, close eyes, and we seek the grace and blessings of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. This morning, I want to also welcome, of course, young Pandit Kashish Naipal, one of our Pandits at the Parishad. Babaji, blessing. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastu Me Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityuramamritam Gamaya Om Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Bandhu Shasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Shanti 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 Hari Om गणपति गणेश भगवान की, उमापति महादेव की, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की। साधु के दंडवत सकल पंच की जय जय। सीता आसन लीजिए, राइट वे सिट।